team like Kyrie and KD, or the Lake Show with King James and AD. Wish I could match him up with the bad boys from the 80s, but no black and white, I need that in HD. HenDawgz.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy HenDawgz, and we back to it. You know how we do it. NBA legends and players explain why Larry Bird would destroy today's NBA. Shout out to the Bird gang, man. I was just in Boston for this whole week. I just got back last night, so I was like, it's only right that this whole weekend, man, I react to a bunch of Larry Bird stuff, man, because being in that Boston atmosphere, man, it was just like, it was dope. It was dope. It was dope. I wanted to go to a Celtics game, man. I wanted to get into that TD Garden, but unfortunately, I was too busy. I was actually filming a FanDuel commercial out there, so they had me busy for the whole week, man. So I really wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. I still have fun, man. I still have fun. I got some seafood. I got, some Italian food. Like, I had a really good time, man. And it's only right that I react to some Larry Bird this weekend, man. But before I do, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all like this video if y'all like this video. And go ahead and write something in the comments. I got a question for y'all. And I want y'all most unbiased opinions, man. I know y'all gonna be biased. I know it. Because whenever it's a Kobe question, I always got a little bias in there. But let's try to take out the biasness a little bit so we can have a good comment section here. Where would y'all rank Larry Bird? Y'all put the prime Larry Bird, when he was not injured, he was at the top of his game. Where would you rank him in the league today? Would I rank him number one? Because he arguably could be number one. If you put that Larry Bird in the league right now, he could be better than LeBron and better than Giannis and better than KD. Like, he could be. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. But I want to see what y'all think about that. But let's get into this video, man. We got NBA legends and players explain why Larry Bird would destroy today's NBA. This is going to be a pretty long video. It's 19 minutes long, so go grab your snacks, your Celsius, like whatever you need to get through this video, because it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a long one, man. But let's get into it. Like I said, we got NBA legends and players explain why Larry Bird would destroy today's NBA. Let's get it.
Of prime Larry Bird in today's NBA. This is the most intriguing player for this type of series because he will fit so well in today's era. He is a complete package of what you want in today's NBA. Larry Bird had many ways to impact the game, and his IQ was remarkable. You could argue he had the highest basketball IQ in NBA history. The most underrated part of Larry Bird's game for me was his defense. He led the league in defensive win shares 4 times and finished second twice. Only George Mikan, Bill Russell, and Tim Duncan have more seasons than him as league leaders, and only.
So what is defensive win shares, y'all? Can somebody go find a definition of that? Because I didn't know that Larry Bird was that good defensively, but I want to know what defensive win shares mean. Like, what does that even mean?
Hakeem Olajuwon is tied with him. Despite his reputation as more of an offensive player, this actually puts him in the company of some of the greatest defenders in NBA history. He also made 3 all-defensive teams. Sure, he wasn't a lockdown defender like Dennis Rodman in one-on-one situations, but he could hold his own and was great at reading passing lanes for steals, so he wasn't a liability, which was one of the biggest myths. And to prove that Larry Bird would dominate today's NBA, there are players like Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic who are thriving in the league. Both players possess some of Larry Bird's qualities. Jokic's freakish passing abilities, excellent off-ball play, and Luka's tough shot-making and competitive mentality. But neither are a better shooter or defender than Larry. That is why in today's league it's difficult to find a player to compare Larry Bird to, because he is a composite of many. The only thing you have to worry about with a prime Larry Bird in today's NBA is whether he'll be ejected after trash talking every player guarding him, because he will destroy players mentally too. Like, the guy was telling players what he would do before he even had the ball in his hands. So I'm going to show you NBA legends and players sharing stories of how dominant and skilled Larry Bird was.
Oh my God.
After this video, please tell me how many points you think a peak Larry Bird would average in today's league. Enjoy the video, man.
Prior to that NCAA tournament, still with the most.
Yeah, before Shannon got to say what he's saying. And by the way, what Skip was saying to Shannon not too long ago was crazy about the whole Tom Brady shit, but that's for a whole nother video. But yeah, how many points do y'all think Larry Bird would average in today's game? I say 30 plus. Like 30 plus. Like, he's too great of a shooter. And he's going to shoot way more threes. Like, he was averaging 25 a game and was shooting 4 threes a game, maybe not even that. So in today's game, he probably shooting at least 7, 8 threes a game. So he gonna average 30 plus. Like, and he don't have to be athletic. I know a lot of y'all gonna be like, but he gonna have Giannis guarding him, he gonna have LeBron guarding him. Like, I get all that. And he's not nowhere near athletic as those guys, but Luka isn't as athletic. Dirk wasn't athletic. Y'all remember what Dirk did to LeBron in the finals, the 2011 finals. Y'all remember that? So it's just gonna be like Larry Bird on Dirk Nowitzki, Luka Doncic, Jokic, all them guys on steroids. That's what Larry Bird is. So 30 plus. But let me know how much y'all think.
Game in NCAA history. How much did you know about Larry Bird prior to that game?
Well, Shannon, the summer before, they had the WIT tournament.
Okay.
And they brought all the best college players together.
Okay.
To play against the world.
Okay.
And man,
speak up,
I see
man.
this guy, blonde hair, I said, all right, let me see if he can play.
Okay.
Man, I'm sitting there watching him shoot, Shannon. He must have made 30 in a row all net.
So he was Steph Curry before Steph.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there saying, this dude can play.
Okay.
Brothers, we always say, okay, can the white dude really play?
Correct. Right.
So then I said, oh man, he a bad boy.
Right.
Then we got in the game. Jack Gibbons was player of the year that year.
Right.
He tore him up, man.
From Jack Gibbons from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Because they won the national championship in
That's
78.
right. That same time.
Yeah, okay.
Man, Larry Bird was taking it to him. I said, oh, man. I'm calling back home saying, oh, he for real. This dude Larry Bird?
Right.
Oh, he got it. He's dominating Jack Gibbons.
Rich, I don't know. I think he might average 30. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody.
I love Magic because Magic ain't to the point where he got no ego. They had the biggest rivalry, so he could have easily, not been the biggest Larry Bird fan and kind of, wanted to not give him his credit as much. But Magic, hey man, we 65 years old now. Just looking back on this shit, Larry Bird was really the real deal.
Nobody could ever rush Larry Bird. I know guys are way more athletic now, but his ability to shoot the ball, depending upon the team he's on, he can get anywhere he wants to be and shoot over smaller players, and he was one of the most crafty players the game has ever seen. So I think his game translates to any time period.
Larry Bird talked a lot of shit. Bird used to tell me, look here, man, I'm going to go shoot this motherfucker jumper in your face right there in that corner. And it's going to be your Christmas present. I'm going to wrap it up and bust your head open.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Shit. He was the coldest dude I ever seen with that shit, man. Everybody be talking about these greats. They don't be always mentioning him. He was the shit.
Yeah.
Shit, man.
Shit.
He'll give it to you any way he wanted to. Any way he wanted to. Larry Bird was cold. Cold dude, man. Real cold.
Every night, show what you got.
I don't know if I could ever tell you a memory. I'll just tell you that Larry was a phenomenal basketball player. The guy had unbelievable physical and mental toughness, which set him apart. I mean, that guy just would play through pain.
Bird is hurt. Bird is down, and he's hurt. And here comes Larry.
Hate watching that play, y'all. That shit just it hurts so bad.
From an apparent fracture of the right cheek.
Nothing bothered him. Unbelievable competitor. Great hands, great vision, great feel for the game. And just, could go out every single night and just play at an unbelievably high level. Didn't have to shoot the ball really well to have a good game because he did so many different things.
I said, the dude just left.
Before Brian Scott got to say what he got to say, now, I think Kevin McHale just brought up a super great point that I never really realized. When great scorers, because I would label Larry Bird as a great scorer. That's probably his best thing was his scoring. I could be wrong. Y'all can correct me if y'all want to, but when great scorers shoot bad, sometimes that's really it. If a great scorer is not shooting good, then that's just going to be a bad game. But Larry Bird was such a great player that even when he wasn't shooting well, he could go, 4 for 14 in a game or something, 4 for 16 in a game, which isn't really good. But he was such a great player, he would bring so much more everywhere else that it didn't matter. They would still win that game. He would still be MVP or he would still get player of that game because of everything else he did. And that's really a lesson. That's really, a teaching point that I feel like a lot of basketball people should kind of, realize that, if you're not shooting well, yeah, you can still go out there and get 10 rebounds. You can go get 10 assists. You can get 5 hustle plays. You can get 3 charges taken. Like, it's a lot more in basketball you can do than score the ball, even for the great scorers. And that's why I think it will turn somebody from just a great scorer to a Hall of Fame great player. So, what you gotta say, Byron Scott?
Right? And the thing that I loved about him is that he was a shit talker. I wish you'd have got a chance to play against him, brother. I swear to God, we would have loved playing against him because the dude would just tell you where he's going, shoot it in your face, talk shit to you, and run back down the floor.
Yeah.
And he was just one of those guys that, you know, he just had it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He had it.
Come on, Coach Orr.
In college, and obviously.
So I gotta pause it. I'm sorry, but the guy that was just guarding Larry Bird on that play, Coach Orr, number 55 for the Knicks. He was my coach at Bowling Green. Last week he passed away. Unfortunately, he was battling cancer. I just want to take the time to say R.I.P. to Coach Orr. Learned so much. He was one of the first guys to ever believe in me. Gave me a full ride scholarship, paid for my school to go to Bowling Green and play basketball there. And I'll forever be thankful for that. So I just wanted to take the time to say R.I.P. to Coach Orr. Prayers to his family. Prayers to Chauncey, his son, who also played at Bowling Green with me. Coach Orr was a great guy, man, and R.I.P. to you, man. R.I.P. to you, Coach. Love you.
Saw a whole lot closer when we get a chance to play against the Celtics. He was the biggest trash talker back in the day, but he would back it up.
The first guy.
You gotta back it up.
The last guy to leave. He wore that body out
with
the jumpers and the running and the movement and the concentration and the focus and the discipline and the sacrifice. He had it all. He wanted the light on him. He wanted the focus, and he wanted that ball. And if it ever got to the point where Casey Jones, a coach who we just loved and would do anything for, if Casey would ever call somebody else's play, Larry would just say, no.
I got this.
And he would.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a 3.
You gotta have a lot of confidence.
Growing up in
To
Boston,
be like, no, we ain't running it for him. I'm gonna shoot this.
That he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And a lot of my friends was like that, So I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said,
y'all
all
lie.
that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump. He's demolishing everybody.
So your guys are saying, how can you let this guy?
Oh, he's doing it on everybody.
I want to speak something into existence, man. The Dan Patrick Show, he kind of just inspired me right here. Like, I be reacting, but I also be thinking in my head. So something I just thought about, man, like one day, 10, 15 years down the line, I want to have a show like this. I want to call it the Ann Henderson, the HenDawgz Show. Like, I don't even know what I wanted to call it, but it's going to be something like this. And I want to bring guys like the equivalent of Patrick Ewing, which would be Joel Embiid or something. So, like, I got a show and I'm just, talking to Joel Embiid about LeBron, or talking to Joel Embiid about Jason Tatum, and just the same way that they sitting here just reminiscing, like, because these stories will never get old. Like, these are stories that will be around forever. So the fact that you could just bring Patrick Ewing on this show in 2020 and talk about Larry Bird, that's something I would love to do when I'm old and 50, 60 years old, and I can just sit here and be like, so tell me your greatest LeBron James story. Tell me your greatest Kevin Durant story. And then, like, all these legend that's playing right now, can we just sit there and just sit back and talk? So I'm speaking into existence. And I'm still going to have my YouTube channel and everything, so y'all going to be able to follow the journey. But that's something I just want to just get out there. I feel like it's very important to speak stuff out, speak it into existence, because I feel like when you do that, shit happens. So I just had to throw that in there. But back to Larry Bird.
Doing it on everybody. He's doing it on the best defensive players in the league.
I'm going to still ask him about Larry Bird, too.
The edge to Bird. I mean, he can get his own shot off. He can get his teammates. Basically, what Magic did, he was able to do, plus be an offensive threat all the way out to the three-point line. That's an incredible asset. They were pretty much the same size. Yep. They were both slow. They were both, they were not both leapers. But
Bird or Magic?
Had outside three, and they were both high IQ guys, but
I gotta give the edge to Bird to play against the dream team.
This was the legendary game where the college guys came in and Chuck Daly let y'all tear their ass up, and as soon as y'all started getting back, he ended it, right?
So yeah, so funny. So when we got an invitation, it was 8 of us. It was myself, Bobby Hurley,
Bobby Hurley,
Chris Webber, Rodney Rogers, Eric Montrose.
Shout out
Eddie
Rodney
Martin.
Rogers, man. Shout out to OG.
Yeah. And Grant Hill was on that squad. So we get to La Jolla, San Diego, and we check into the Marriott. We go up to our floor, and we're walking in the corridor, and we see this tall white guy coming down the hall. And I'm like, damn, that looked like Larry Bird. So Larry Bird coming down the hallway, me and Chris Webber, and Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand up close to Larry Bird.
Exactly. As a man.
Larry Bird legit 6'10".
Nah, real talk. When I first started against him when he was
like 6'9", 6'8".
Damn.
So he walked by us and he says, y'all those college guys? And we was like, yeah, we the college guys. And he looked at us and he said, get some fucking rest. It's going to be a long week. And walked off.
Shit.
And we was like, what the hell?
Which y'all got us into?
That's Larry Bird for you.
You know, like, all right, what's going on here?
I wanted to say what's up, and he just said it like this, like, damn.
Larry Bird ain't trying to make no friends.
Year. We had a strong first year, so I knew that I'm teaming up with someone that was franchise changing type talent.
You know, this guy, I think he was born to play basketball. Seeing him come in and making the adjustment early, taking a team that had won 20 games the year before, and, you know, the next year, I mean, you know, they're 40 plus, and the next year is 60 plus.
When Bird was at Indiana State, and the first time we really got a chance to see him play on television, Indiana State played Bradley, and then, you know, fast forward, then they played DePaul, and Mark Aguirre, Terry Cummins, Teddy Grubbs on that team, and Larry Bird just, you know, he does this thing, and then of course they went on and they played Magic at Michigan State. But Bird was again, one of the greatest shooters, champions, competitors to ever play in our game.
You now join Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain as the only players in the 40-year history of the NBA to win the league's MVP award 3 years in a row.
Yeah, Rob, I wish you would have played against him, man.
I got a question for y'all, man. Outside of Magic, I would say Magic probably gave him his toughest battles because of the championship degrees that they both were on, the Lakers, Celtics, just that whole thing. I would say that Magic is by far was his biggest challenge, but who would you say was his second biggest challenge? I wanted to say Dr. J. That's kind of the first person I thought about in my head, but that whole 38-6 situation kind of like threw that out for me. I'm like, no, it ain't. Dr. J probably couldn't tie Larry Bird's shoes, but who would y'all say was the second player that y'all be like, damn, like every time he go against Larry Bird, it's a problem. Like Larry Bird might have, got him a couple times, but then he got Larry Bird a couple times. Like it's that player out there. I know it is. It gotta be. Who was that player that y'all was just like, man, outside of Magic, like I don't even want to say Michael Jordan either, because Michael Jordan never beat Larry Bird. Like, those 6-0 in the playoffs, like he never beat him, so that really wasn't much of a challenge. Yeah, Michael Jordan went crazy, but I don't even want to say Michael Jordan. Or if we do say Michael Jordan, then give me another person. Give me that third guy outside of Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson who y'all say gave Larry Bird a hard time. Let me know.
Larry Bird was the biggest shit talker in the league back in the day. He would tell you exactly where he was going, what he was going to do. And he did that to us in the finals. He was like, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going right over here to the corner.
That boy
I'm going to touch the ball, I'm going to shoot it, and then shit y'all can do about it. I mean, and he did exactly that. So I wish you would have got a chance to play against him.
Because I always think about that moment. I don't know how true this is.
Who is that talking?
You remember the time when he was playing Atlanta, and he told the guy, he says, I'm going to bank a 3 on you. And the guy just bullshit. So,
out of play.
Throughout the game, he never got sick. So you know what? He goes back in the game. I think he had like 50 points that game or something.
60. I noticed because Kevin McHale ended up having the most points ever scored by a Boston Celtic, right? And Larry told him he should have got 60 because he broke it against Atlanta like 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah, and it was in the bench. Atlanta bench got in trouble because they out here rooting.
Robert
Like,
you can see it. If you go back and look at the tape, you can see the bench. Every shot he made, they going crazy.
Like, he unbanked this one. Like, see, that's what you want, because when someone's telling you what they can do and you can't stop it, you know they're a bad man. Yeah. But I look at guys in this era now, and you say, okay. You look at Bird and says, man, I can stop him because, he's slow. It's sort of like Luka now. You watch Luka. Luka is so freaking slow, and you're like, why can't they stop that?
Right.
I'm like, but when you crafty, you know how to play. That's all you need.
Yeah, I think Bird is fast compared to Luka. I see Luka, he's going slow as hell, and he'll get by you. But Larry probably looked like fucking sprinter compared to the way Luka played.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I think it was 86, 87.
What you gotta say, Robin?
So we was playing Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. So they gave me the task of guarding Larry Bird. Guarding Larry Bird. I'm like this 25-year-old rookie in the league. They said
that's
you have
rookie.
to guard him. And I'm like, guard him. So that was my whole job, to guard the toughest guy on the team, on the other teams. So, so I'm guarding him. And every time I turn my head, he's over there in the 3-point line. He said, I'm over here, Rook. I'm like,
talking his shit.
I gotta go out there and run out there like a dumbass. Just go out there trying to contest it. If he hit the 3, I'm like, okay, da-da-da.
I remember the Portland game. I think it was Super Bowl Sunday. We're playing Portland Trailblazers. He had like 52 points or something like that. We were down 3. He's a remarkable, crazy 3-point shot. He was leaning. And I was like, there's no way he's going to hit a shot.
DJ again to make the inbound pass. They're double teaming Bird. Larry.
That's so tough. It's like a Kobe shot, though. That's where Kobe learned that from, yo?
I'm like, this guy's amazing.
One thing I do remember now, this is practice, is I'm making a backdoor cut, and Larry actually spun the ball. Like, I had never dreamed of spinning the ball. He back spun the ball, bounced out in front of me. I about pulled a hamstring because I thought the damn ball was going out of bounds. It popped back up and it hit me in my hands. He just said, you get open, I'll hit you. And I went like, okay then. I was like, and that I do remember, because I remember thinking, I'm going to try that spin pass. I tried it once and said, I'm not doing it ever again. I get threw it out of bounds.
Off of the ball. Back to Larry Bird.
Pass. Come on, dunk that, Mikhail.
In the league at that time, do you...
Y'all answer the question. Right there. The question is at the bottom of the screen. Who was better? Larry Bird or Magic Johnson? And tell me why. I don't want y'all to just be like Bird, Magic. Like, I want y'all to take out y'all biasness and let me know, like, why do y'all really think Larry Bird was better or why Magic Johnson was better? Let me know in the comments.
Have a feel for who players felt was the better player between those two?
To be honest with you, the black players gravitated to Magic and the white players gravitated to Bird.
Yeah.
And the people with sense could see the difference.
I didn't realize his passing
it
was
wasn't
great.
about color or anything else. It was, hey, this guy hit can ball.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to always look at Bird like, maybe he's not white.
He just couldn't be a good white player, huh?
Because he's got a lot of swag.
Yeah.
Before the word was really hot.
Played in the Garden. I got checked in the game, and Larry Bird was just standing there, and I walked right up to him, was like, "How you doing, Mr. Bird?" And then he just had his hands on his hip, and he doesn't even look at me the whole time. He looks at Paul Westphal because they were teammates together, and he go, "Paul, I know y'all ain't got this fucking rookie duck in here. You got to be fucking." And I got my hand out. My hand is still out, so I'm just like, "Oh well, somebody come guard 33 because I think I'm a guard."
You can't do
for
that.
him to talk trash and never even icon or talk to me, I was like, "Ooh, this dude is dangerous." Magic was cool when I met him. I got on the court in the form and went right up to him. Forget about the game. "Hi, Magic. How you doing?" "Say, what's up, Dave? LA, you home?" "What?" "Yeah." So the next morning,
Larry Bird wasn't having that shit, but I also feel like that's nothing you're supposed to do right before the game. Like, I mean, you can be like, "Good luck." It could be Michael Jordan, LeBron, "Hey, good luck." Keep it at that before the game. But after the game, you're like, "Man, I'm a huge fan. It was an honor playing against you." Like, that's how you're supposed to do it. I probably would have did the same way if I was Larry Bird. Like, you ain't about to try to soften me up before the game and then try to attack me. Like, that's not how this works.
We get up and we go to practice, and Roy Williams is our coach, but we only got 8. So we like, well, how are we practicing, and what are we practicing for? So we spent, I want to say, an hour doing the 3-man weave. And I'm like, what's going on here? Then they bus us to another location where the dream team is practicing. And these about 400 people standing outside waiting for the dream team to come out. They take us up to a top floor, and the dream team is practicing. They're finishing up their practice. And then they say, all right, get loose and stretch out. We're like, okay, we playing? They're like, yeah, we're going to play next. So we get out the gates. Like the first 15 minutes, we kicking their ass. we running them all out. Bobby Hurley in the lane, killing John Stockton. So they stopped the game.
Damn. Shout out to John Stockton.
Score. I think we were up like 72, 66 or something, 64, something like that. We lit their ass up, and then something happened. We're sitting there, and we get back to the hotel. Rodney Rogers says something to, it's a group of them. It's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and everybody's shooting the shit. And Rodney Rogers said, hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84.
Oh, shit.
Magic heard that shit.
Oh.
And we ain't think nothing of it. The next day we came in, and I never seen this, and this one I was like, this is a different breed. Magic Johnson fed Larry Bird the ball probably about 8 times in a row down court. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. One dribble, pull up, going left, off glass.
Bro, that's crazy.
One dribble, going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row. Left the court to go lay down because he couldn't sit on a bench. He had to lay down because of the back. And said, young fella, look like 84, huh?
Oh.
Last time he made
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow. I said, so that's they kicked our ass for the rest of the week.
Larry and those guys, it's something I've watched my whole life. I turn around and Larry goes, what's up, Sal? What's up, Larry? He goes, man. Yeah, man. He goes, y'all not double teaming? I said, nah.
You're not, they looking around.
Goes, for real? I go, yeah. Yo, mouse in the house. And he runs down to the post and posts me up. And boom, boom, Scully said, it's going to be a long night, Sal.
You better get some AirPods, John Sally.
We up 1, and we come out of the huddle, and Bird looks at me, and Kent Benson is guarding Bird. And Bird looks at me, and he goes, he's got no shot. And he says it right to Benson as he was standing there, right? And sure enough, he gets it in on the left side of the court, takes it down to the baseline.
Here's Dennis, gets it into Bird. Larry, a runner.
That's tough. That's a tough shot. That is not an easy shot, man, for a win.
He walks off, he goes, I told you, you can't put him on me. He said, you better get somebody else who can guard me.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and tell me how many points you think a prime Larry Bird will average in today's NBA. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and show love to the YG gang, and I'm out.
Shout out to that video, man. By the way, Isaiah Thomas, he did like a poor sport right there. You know, I always heard about the one time where he was a poor sport to Michael Jordan when they lost. He walked off the court, but hey, him and Larry Bird was just cool, and Larry Bird hit a game winner on him. So maybe he just didn't like Jordan. Maybe that's all that was. Maybe he wasn't just a terrible person like everybody say he was. But I appreciate y'all for watching this video, man. Another great video of Larry Bird. Showcasing why he's a top 5 player all time. Like, it's debatable on where he is on that list, man, but I appreciate y'all for watching. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if y'all haven't already. Go ahead and like this video if y'all like this video. And go ahead and write something in the comments. Let me know 2 things. 2 things I want y'all to tell me. Where does Larry Bird rank all time? And how many points would he average in the NBA today? Would he struggle a little bit because he's not athletic as you know, a lot of the players in the league now? Or would he go for 30, 35? And I personally think he'll go for 30, 35 because, like I said earlier, he's going to shoot way more threes than he did back then. So if you can average 25 points on 2 to 3 threes a game, you're going to average about 40 if you shoot about 7, 8 threes a game. But I appreciate y'all like always. We out.